Yo, what up guys, Beside here. I finally put together two teams that can help me take down the brand new Shredder event dungeon at level 20 or level 30, depending on the one I want to fight. So in this video, I'm going to be showcasing that team. I'm one of those players who have been ignoring this content because I did not like the artifact and accessory stats on what you will give to my champions, but it doesn't hurt to grab one or two sets and hold on to maybe build one champion with it and test out maybe for content or whatever new thing that will come up in the future, even after it was buffed. Well, if you're not even inspired to go into that content and fight it, here comes a special tournament. This one is going to be part of the Titan event. The Shredder Rods tournament will give you small smart fella Titan event points. So if you click it, you find that there are 50 Titan event points right here. This is my whole inspiration for doing this video. This is my own motivation to even go in there to fight this content at level 20 or level 30. This is why I put together these teams today after this content has been around for a while. I didn't try out, well, I did try it out and got to 20, 25, 28, but I was stuck until today where I finally pushed further, put together, swapped some gear around some champions and got a team preset that is working for me. And why not share with the community, right? Now there are a ton of other creators who have put out videos like this one who went into greater detail than I will in this video. I just wanted to showcase the two teams, that's all. I don't know the boss mechanics, the passive, the crazy things he's doing. I know I don't just like them and I want to make it stop. So let me show you the champions that help me make it stop and get it done at level 20 first, because we can't forget about newer players in the game, right? Because that's where most players who even can beat level 30 will go down further and farm 20 because it's faster, less energy, less time consuming and all that good stuff, right? So let me quickly claim this battle results and let's go into level 20. Now, if you want to find out more about the boss and all the crazy things he's doing, you will have to read the boss guide. This will tell you what to do and what not to do and what skills, what type of debuffs you need to bring into the battle, right? But the short form of it is that you want to bring in champions that will simply nuke down the side arts, the other allies that the boss brings along with him. Once you can nuke them down, the boss is a cakewalk most of the time, right? As long as your main damage dealers do not die. So let me show you the epic teams that I put together, because I do have legendaries, but for the purpose of this level 20 content, you will have to mostly rely on epics or rares or a few legendaries. If you have them, don't be afraid to add them in here. But there are many ways to do damage to different bosses in raid. If you've been farming the dragon, the ice golem, the spider, you know there are different ways to kill all those contents. So this boss is not different. Enemy max HP nukes is kind of limited right here, so you might not be doing crazy amount of enemy max HP damage to him. So I'm coming in here with HP burn as my main source of damage. So with HP burn right here, it means you have to be patient and wait for the boss to hit you, and then that's how he's doing the damage back to himself. That's what Geomancer comes in here, and he's gonna be the MVP for this battle. Everybody right here is just here to sustain Geomancer until the boss nukes himself by hitting us, taking damage back to himself. Right, so you can find that information in Geo's HP burn right here, where he lands on the boss. He will target the boss with the HP burn, but if you don't kill the side arts or the boss, other enemies fast enough, Geomancer will use this skill again on one of them, which is not what you want to happen, right? So the next damage dealer right here, I brought in only two. This one is going to be for the other enemies on the battle, right? On the battlefield, you want to use this AoE skill from Husk to nuke them or stun them. So if they are stunned, they won't be able to do all that healing, cleansing, crazy things they are doing for the boss and for each other, right? So this is where the main skill he comes in right here for. This AoE skill right here attacks all enemies. It does do a good nuke for the enemies. It probably won't take them down the first time, but at least you keep them stunned most of the time. 35% chance booked up to what, a 45, 50, almost 60% chance of landing that stun. Most of the time it will happen on 3 out of 2, 2 out of 3 and all that. So he does have other nuking abilities, including a provoke, but he's here. You can use any other damage dealer in place of Husk. I'm talking about whether it's epic or legendaries. I just want somebody else to clear this other side out while Joe is dealing with the boss. That's it. So every other person right here is here to make sure the boss does not steal buffs from us and put it on himself. Whether you're using this, fighting this battle at level 20 or level 30, you find that you need somebody to place block, buff, debuff. Without it, the boss will steal a bunch of your buffs and then begin to do crazy things So do not let him steal your buffs. It's gonna be a bad time. Well, sometimes even if you get resisted, he steals it. I guess it's not that bad, but you want to prevent that from happening. And this is the one skill that a lot of players will use as their first champion to take a turn in the battlefield to stop the boss from stealing any of your buffs or transferring it to each other and all that stuff, right? So Ugo also has a little bit of healing for you, because no other person in this team is going to be doing a crazy amount of healing besides Ugo and as your main healer. And yeah, well, there's one more right here. Vogot, I lied. Vogot does a crazy amount of healing, way more than Ugo can do for you, and his passive is how that healing comes up. Whenever this champion is attacked, he heals all allies by 50% of the damage inflicted and received. So I don't need all these champions in this battle, but I'm just showing you a strategy you could use for your teams. If you see that your battle is safe, you probably bring in another damage dealer instead of a Vogot. But if you see that your battle is getting dicey, you probably want to take out Vogot and bring in a Reviver instead. So you want to see how it's going to work for you, swap things out. That's what I did until I got a perfectly working team for me at level 30. So I just put in right here a Deacon Armstrong, not for decreased defense, because Ugo is taking care of that also, so you can deal more damage, but also A1 Leech, Tormentor boosting for your team, and of course the speed aura. Deacon is known for dungeons and all that. So let me quickly fight the battle, but first team presets and some stats for these champions. Now, speaking about stats, for level 20, you want to head over to Elhade's Artifacts Extractor website right here and show you, Elhade's Raid Stages 2, and to show you the stats you might need to build on your champions. So don't say I didn't show you my stats. This is the stats I'm showing you right now on the champions. And the two stats you need to take note of are the speed of the enemies and the resistance of the enemies. Now, with speed being 178, 199, 191, and all that, that tells you, please build your champions with minimum 200 speed on everybody. You don't want anybody coming in there with less than that 200 and then the battle going wrong, and then you say something else happened. It's probably your speed. You are not fast enough for that content. And then let's not forget about the resistance on the enemies at 280, 280, 295. So you want to be at a minimum of 320 on your accuracy, just to be on the safer side of being able to debuff all of them, stop them from, placing buffs on themselves, or stop them from even taking crazy amount of turns with your stun that you might place on the husk and all that. So those are the two stats you want to take into consideration. Let's not forget about HP and defense now. Let's not forget about that. You want to bring 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 defense, as much defense and HP as you can, especially on your tanky support champions. My Vogot is what, almost 100k HP, because it's an end game build Vogot. So you want to consider all that when you're building your champions for that content. But speed and accuracy are the two most important ones you want to consider, and the rest can be damage, crit rate, and all that. Let me go ahead and show you the stats a little bit. Now, these champions were built for high level content. I'm talking about Corset City. So I did not change any of their gear specifically for this content. I just put together my epics that I already have built for Corset City hard mode. That's why you're seeing my Deacon with crazy 500 accuracy. It's not needed for level 20, but I'm not going to change these stats because they're already built in Corset City content, right? So don't be afraid to steal gear from your best champions, talking about your avatars and all that, just for this content. So once you're done farming, you can return those gear with the new team preset and the free gear removal. You shouldn't be afraid to swap gear anyhow. So that's it. The Geomancer will always prioritize this skill. Deacon knows what to do, so no priority right here for you. Ugo, you might want to set this one as a priority, but she also knows what to do. She always start with this skill right here. 315 speed, not needed, but again, this is the Ugo that is used for Hydra. So your same Hydra build will work in this content for Ugo if she's fast enough and have enough accuracy to land on the Hydra head. She'll be able to enough to land on this content also. The same thing for the Husk. Husk is built for Hydra also. These are old Hydra builds, but this Husk is a recent build I used for the Corset City 3 Husks that I have. This is one of them. And of course, our thick tanky Vogot boy right here. Like I said, over almost 94k HP, almost 100k right here, and a little bit of defense. 250 speed, not a priority for him because he's just there, supposed to be a mid shield tanky, but he does have enough accuracy to land the provoke. Not essential. You want to always focus on the HP first on the Vogot and the speed maybe before you even think about accuracy on him for this content, where he can land the provoke sometimes on the enemies. It's not required. So let me go ahead and run this battle for those people farming it at level 20. Don't be afraid to bring in your legendaries right here. I just want to make this level 20 stage to showcase only. I will be farming this at level 30. If you don't have enough energy, you want it to be a faster run, you probably want to farm it at 20 also. Alright, Geo has placed the HP bomb for 3 whole turns, so we are now waiting for Husk to go in there with his nuke. That's his nuke. You see, he did not take all of them down, but he did place the stun on them. The provoke from Vogot also placed on them. So they are all standing there. We're waiting for them to die. They did not cleanse, they did not heal, they did not do all that crazy stuff. Because if you don't control them like this, they will get taunts and the battle will be a little bit longer. So we're waiting for them to die now, slowly but surely. A1 again. Provoke from the A1 from Husk again. So everybody is just here to nuke them down, and once they are down, the boss hitting me is landing what do you call it now, damage on himself. See, damn, this one did not die. Joe has wasted his HP burn on somebody else, so now his HP burn is not available again until how many turns? 2 whole turns. But hopefully we can still use our natural skills to take the boss down instead of from the HP burn. But when he hits us, that's how the damage is supposed to go on him. We cannot provoke him, don't worry about that. I'm just putting it on 1 speed so we can see how everything is going in the battle. This time around, the HP burn just ticked, but he didn't get the passive damage from the HP burn. Alright, now for me to showcase the level 30 team, now he places the game. Now if the boss hits, he gets the damage. If us does not finish it. Let's see if the boss kills himself with this last hit. Don't kill him. Alright, boss, hit us. Nah, Geo, end it. Alright, so hopefully nobody can complain that I can't beat this content who is in the end game. At least for newer players, it's still going to be a difficult one for you to put together this kind of a team. But hey, like I said, farm it at a lower level if 20 is not where you can comfortably do, just to get that event, that tournament points, and then you stop farming. Time for level 30 battle right here. This one is one that was a headache for me, because I had to rely on a lot of other videos from a lot of other content creators right here for me to even see what type of teams that people are using. If you have the HH artifact extractor, it can also be used right here. Here's artifact extractor. It can tell you what teams you can use for this content. Click the boss guide. There's no best teams right here. You can also see other teams that people are using for this content. You just scroll, even you can find the teams that you have. So there are many ways to find teams. I just wanted to put out my own recommendations that I'm currently using for my own content. So you don't have to build the exact team, right? All right, because raid is all about strategy and everybody has different strategy for beating one particular content. Now let's explain my team right here. If you go to the team, presets are everything in this content. Without presets, it's not going to be a successful run, unfortunately. If you put everything on auto, I tell you to fail. Now, Lamasu is right here doing a crazy block buff debuff. That's the first thing she's doing on my team, just like an Ugo. And then she also have a speed aura right here with the leader slot in, I think it's all dungeons or in all battles. For the A2 skill, I had to also set it as a priority because I want her to be landing this removes all debuffs from one of my ally, places intercept stack on them, two tons, places 2, and then also fills this target's ally, hopefully my Marius, by 50%, and then resets the cooldown of their skill. I want her to do this on Marius, but sometimes she targets the Lydia instead. So it allows the Marius to do his turn again, and then a turn he just used. If she uses this on the Marius, he uses that turn again, right? 50% turn meter is huge, resetting the skill is huge. So she's here for 2 important things. So it makes the run a little bit faster. Now, the Marius, you know, your normal arena Marius stone skin probably need to be changed in this content. You don't need stone skin here. So I needed to go swap his gear a little bit out. So he's not in stone skin anymore. I do need that speed to be above 300 though, so you can land it on one of the most annoying enemies in this content. I'll show you the champion I'm talking about. But he starts the battle with this A3, so he can stun. He does have a stun, and he does have enough accuracy to land that stun. 471 accuracy makes that happen. Sometimes it doesn't land on the one I want, but it still takes one of them out of the battle for a while. Now for Lydia, you know what she's here for. Decrease defense and weaken. That's her only role on this content. But sometimes the A3 right here does land on the boss or some other enemy on the wave right here who can lock their skills out, and they only have back to A1s when I didn't when I'm not successful to lock them out with a Carnage. And speaking about Carnage, he's the next one on this team right here. Super endgame players who have been fighting that Corset City should be able to obtain this champion by now with his 6-star soul, right? He keeps himself alive for longer. He doesn't require to be revived when everybody is going down. But he will eventually die also if the battle lasts for too long and the boss hits him too hard. But right here you go, he will metamorph as this first priority right here. But he's starting this battle with this lockout skill, block passive skill, block active skills. I want to land it on the Harima, because the Harima has a crazy passive right here which decreases she decreases my ignored defense that I'm doing on them, which makes them take less damage, right? We don't want that to happen. So Harima is locked out by him most of the time. I don't know what criteria he uses to target the Harima. Why not target one of the other annoying enemies? I don't know. But the Harima is who is always targets with it. But sometimes it spreads to all the other enemies, and I like that when I see it. But he's here mainly for this. So after he locks out the Harima, the next thing he's doing, the Carnage is switching forms with Metamorph and then going to his alternate form where he's only interested in the nukes. And now when he's in this alternate form and he uses this to nuke, he's only going to be doing most of the time A1. I don't think I even want to prioritize this. I don't know if it's going to be much, but the A1s, I'm just seeing crazy amount of huge damage he's doing on the A1s, which is how we normally take down this boss, right? Now, why did I lock out this Metamorph again? I don't want him to leave this alternate form. I want him to remain in the alternate form until the battle is done. So he's going to stay in this alternate form and finish the battle for me. I don't want him to going back to this base form again after this first Metamorph switch. Now for the MVP right here in this content is going to be my Reviver. Well, some people use your Duchess, some people use other champions, any reviver, Sifi, any reviver. People will go down in this battle. You do need one reviver or a healer. So right here, Galata is doing both works of reviving and healing, and this is required in this content. Maybe the cleansing is also good, but I don't think I want to worry about any of the debuffs that the enemies are landing on me. So that's why I'm starting this battle straight with the Metamorph. Galata also has a lockout. Why am I starting the battle with the Metamorph? Because at the beginning of the battle, we are not worried about the revives and all that, because it's when the enemies die that the boss begins to do crazy amount of damage. So right now at the start of the turn, nobody will die. We'll just be doing our normal skills. He hits me, I still survive and all that. But so I'm switching over to this form, the alternate form on Galata, to start the battle with the stun. So Galata will start the battle with the stun, because fine, I have a fear coming in from Lamasu, but that might not be enough. Fear is not 100% guaranteed way of crowd controlling the enemies when you're not yet done killing them with Marius or with Carnage. So you want to make sure they don't get that 50% chance of getting a turn and then begin to do crazy things, especially if they're also not locked out. So that's why I'm relying on this turn also from Galata to crowd control a little bit, and the A2 also has a lockout also. Then after they're all locked out or crowd control, stun, and they die with Marius and Carnage, then the Metamorph goes in there as a second priority to switch back to this normal form. Now at this normal form, you see that it's locked out, so she doesn't switch back again. And then at this normal form, we're only interested in reviving. After they revive, Galata will now bring everybody back to life. Marius will die, Lydia will die, but the revive comes in with a veil, perfect veil right here, which will hide all the other teams, and the boss will only be targeting Galata most of the time. And because Carnage will be full HP, but Galata will be a little bit dicey, small HP, but the help of this passive prevents this champion's death and keeps them alive by 1 HP. This is how the battle is successful 100%. And when the boss hits with the A1, Galata just doesn't die, with comebacks with a little bit of healing, and then that's how the revive goes on and the battle goes on a little bit until Marius and Carnage takes it down eventually. That's the short form. Hopefully, as I'm switching through, you've seen the stats I built on this champion. You can see all the accuracy well above 500, and this is not up to 500. Lydia is close there. Galata is also having 500, and Carnage is also there with why accuracy on Carnage? Okay, to land it on that lockout skill that I needed. But the rest of the Carnage is just fear for damage. You can even build in pure damage right here if you want to. So that's the stats on this champion. Bring crit damage, bring all the accuracy requirement, bring a little bit of tankiness on your Galata over 90k. And yeah, that's how you get through this content. Now let me fight the content and see how it goes. I'll put this on super. Raid Stundon so I can get my dungeon points out of the way. So if you have alternate teams that you're using for this content, also let me know in the comments. I'll do this one on the slow-mo so you can see how it works. Who is getting resisted? Damn. Decrease defense and weaken landed. A1 Enfeeble. Even with the Enfeeble, you see how hard this champion is hitting. That's the one I hate the most in that team. Remember that he's increased defense so I can kill him faster. And Galata switches form without doing anything and stun. So I don't want to keep getting hit by that champion. You can see the lockout going in on Harima. Is that Harima? No, I forget that champion's name. But I locked out this other champion is stunned, so they are not doing much to me. You can see right now when the boss is hitting me, we're still okay. But once I kill the side art, those hits from the boss will take everybody down for sure. I'm waiting for Marius to do his job. Carnage has switched forms also. Carnage is going there for the hit and Marius will finish up the job. That's how the battle is supposed to go smooth as ever. And one is still alive. Now yeah, the boss will do the big hit now. See what I mean? Initially when he hit us, we were surviving. But after his allies go down, he begins to deal a crazy amount of damage where we can no longer sustain. That's why this champion now will switch to... Ooh, I'm waiting for the revive from Galata. That will make this battle successful. You're thinking, where is Marius? Marius is coming, don't worry. And Galata will now have the Metamorph available. Switch to the normal form, bring them back, and veil everybody. You can see. So now the boss has only A1 to use on Galata. And you can see how Galata will just brush up the damage. You think that A1 will kill Galata, but almost. Because of that passive, Galata is able to survive it. What? Marius is targeted? Well, sometimes Galata is targeted, but Marius had 2 turns where his, what do you call that thing now? His veil fell off. That's why the boss targeted him. So, I guess we can rely on this other champion to finish his job. But the boss has his big nuke AoE coming in again now. Boom! We still survived it. So, you can see how full Carnage is on his HP, and he will take care of the rest of the battle. If Marius did not die to that hit, the battle would have been done faster. I'll run it one more time in the normal 2x speed so you can see how 1 minute run. I think the best time I did in this one is 1 minute. So let me turn on 2x speed now and put it. So it was a little bit difficult to find a team like this that is not going to have any 1% chance of failure. Because if this was failing sometimes and being successful sometimes, I probably would go back to level 20 and farm this content. But happy to put together a team that can get it done at this level and yeah, not fail so much. And where is Nux? And Marius can finish the job. No need to even lock them out. The boss will hit so hard now. Galata surviving as usual. One more turn for Galata to switch to the normal form. There we go. That's the switch. Bring them back. The boss hits Galata. See? That's how normally it goes. Everybody is veiled and Marius can now start nuking. Galata will heal everybody and herself also, or himself. Marius, where's your hits? He survived this time because he had full HP. Alright, was that 1 minute? No, 1 minute 3 seconds. I'll take it. That's the team I'm going to use to farm this content. Alright, let me know in the comments below how you think I can improve this. Do I need to even improve it? I think it's fine. But you can also tell me in the comments which teams you're using to fight it. If you're on the Discord, always drop those screenshots, and I always want to share with you in the community so you guys can learn and also share with me so I can learn from you also. If you're fighting it at level 20, why don't you like this artifact set that we're getting from this content? Chronophage. I want to have at least one set of this variable set, not 9 piece, at least 6 piece, and keep it and see if there's a champion or a content I can use this in. All right, that's my video for the day. Like, subscribe for more daily raid content. Oh, by the way, this weekend there's a 2x on Ancients coming up this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's already announced in the news if you did not know. You want to save your Ancient shard until this weekend to summon, and yeah, it's gonna align with the 10x for Raphael. All right, see you guys in the next one. Later, guys.